Hey, how you doing? This is Kitch, and you are watching me play a Spaceblock. In between episodes, I added a couple more lines of labs here. They're currently only processing red science right now because we're doing the low-hanging quality of life upgrades, things like reach and speed. And they only use red, and they research really quickly. Whenever we get back to researching science as usual, all those guys should light up. And I went through and updated all of these to the blue assembling machines. So they are now producing at the proper pace. And it looks like in a normal Kitch fashion, we are not making radar. In this episode, I want to move toward blue a little bit, blue science, that is. That's going to require a little bit of oil work, something we haven't really looked at in this mod yet. But first, before we do that, I want to get some stone, kind of a semi-permanent, like, little stone reserve going on here. Does it need to be all the way over here? I don't think so. Let's move it over here by this stuff. Let's get one of you, and one of you. Set you to make stone, and the same over here. Let's get some power going over here just temporarily. We'll run that better later. And we'll put a box down. You guys feed from that side, and I want you to feed into that box. And then I want to get a furnace and put that. I don't know where I want to put that. Where do I want to put that? Right there. Okay, so, and I want another box here. It can go ahead and be a wooden box. Actually, it doesn't need to be a box at all. It can be a belt. I think that would actually work out a little bit better, and then we'll have an inserter coming out of that. All right, and then just a regular inserter going into that furnace, and we need to get some coal up here, and look at that. That lines up perfectly. We can just take that up straight through here. Very nice, and you can spit out to a line that can run along this line right here. And go up that way, and I want some stone, not necessarily for anything really other than for producing the steel furnaces in here for our setup. All right, so let's get some power here. We do this with one. It appears the answer is yes, and then we don't need that or that anymore. Do we need that? Yes, we do. All right, so you guys are going to grab off of this belt, feed yourself, make more stone, and the stone's going to buffer up in here. This one doesn't need to be limited because it's going to be limited just by the fact that we have a belt there. And this is going to pull stone out of here and smelt it. Now, eventually that'll back up and back this inserter up, and we'll start buffering stone in here. But this is going to be feeding this as well. So I want to put a limit on here that says I don't want you enabled unless, let's keep like a buffer of, let's just do a stack. So you are only enabled if there is greater than or equal to 50 in there. So that means that this will all be fed. We'll have a buffer of 50 in here, and then as far as when we start getting excess, that's when that will get smelted. And that'll go off in that direction. I think that's what I want. Let's see, I've got a whole bunch of stone down here. I've got a whole bunch of things down here, apparently. Let's just dump it off in there. You guys are going to play a little game of tug-of-war between those, huh? Actually, I think I'm okay with that. I don't think that's going to cause us any problems. And since we have a surplus in there, you're just going to smelt that. And if this does back up, then that's perfectly okay. It'll just back up in the chest. All right, if we take this over here, I'm going to go ahead and grab this. And I'm just going to start building on this side, I think, if it's convenient. And I believe it's going to be convenient for what I'm wanting to build here. Because I don't know that there's anything else in the mall, really, that we're going to make that that needs the stone bricks. Not that I can think of off the top of my head. We might go to electric furnaces, but if I'm making electric furnaces, actually, they require red circuits, so that might not even be a factor. We can take that up. You are going to grab... you need the stone brick, you need the steel, and with those powers combined, you can create... steel furnaces. And we have a limit of 50 on there. I think that'll be all right. Let's go grab some more inserters. Do we have long-handeds? We do. All right, and you, I would like to be underground pipe, and you, I would like to be regular pipe. Now that we're starting to make fluids, it makes sense that we start producing that stuff. You are going to need iron. You are going to need iron and just pipes, right? All right, that'll feed into there. 50. That kind of seems excessive. Let's take that down to, let's say 30, maybe. And 50, let's do a full stack. All right, that looks good. That looks like it'll work. Not sure. I'm sure that'll be fine. I'm sure that'll be plenty. How many furnaces do we need anyway? All right, so doing blue science, we're going to need a couple of petroleum products. We're going to need plastic to make the advanced circuits, and we just need raw sulfur, which is made just from petroleum and water, I believe. Yes, it is. So we're going to have to start looking into creating some oil, which is something we really haven't looked at thus far. The recipe for duplicating oil, it's made in an oil refinery. It takes 5 seconds. It takes in 125 crude oil and spits out 175 crude oil. So that produces 50 per cycle. Every 5 seconds, a refinery, I believe, has a crafting speed of 1, and it does. So that comes down to about 10 a second, right? Okay, we're going to be doing this stuff on site, just like everything else, but that being said, I would like to set up a little bit of a thing here. That's basically just producing like a backup of it, so we always have some. We're going to need some oil barrels in order to kick off the process and things like that. Let's go ahead and grab these things. We're going to be probably a little short pipe. And let's see, I want a tank. And I think I also want a pump. We're going to need an engine units for that. We have to create those in a factory. I'm wondering if we just want to make those in the mall, and I think we do. Engines we need for pumps as well as automobiles. I don't know that we'll need them for trains if we ever want to make them as well. So it may make sense to go ahead and buffer those. Let's see, that would be engines. You will need pipes. You will need steel. That's going to mess up our long hand inserter thing. So let's put that right there. And that should give us our gears. All right, and what do we need for pumps again? I know it's engines, steel and pipe. Oh, that's unfortunate. I guess I could make another pipe maker, or we could just handcraft the pumps. It's not gonna be that big of a thing. Let's turn that off, just so we can get at least one engine going here. All right, that'll do it. All right, so you are going to make that. And I guess what we'll want to do is spit that out to a tank and then take that around and just curl it around in the back. Just like that. Any reason why that won't work? Not that I can think of. We do need to, however, get it primed. So let's pull that up and get an assembly machine here. We want our recipe to be unbarreling. We'll need power. Do we not have any power anywhere? Let's go to mediums. Let's throw in 10 just to get it started. All right, and that should start our loop. All right, and that'll just slowly fill up that tank. 10 oil every second. Did we get our engines? We did. How much do I need for a train car? I don't know if I'm going to get into trains. We need 20 for a train car, so let's not make that 100. Let's set it to 20. That'll be 2 in the can, so we'll have a little bit of a buffer there. All right, let's see. Handcraft our pump. We'll get that. I want that coming out. And I want that to pump into an assembly machine. And then we're going to need another assembly machine. This one is going to be barreling. And this one's going to be just making barrels. All right, and you just spit out here for now into a box. All right, and I want to put a little bit of logic on this right here because I don't want us to run us out here. Run us out so that it stops the process. Let's set that enabled when that is greater than, let's just say 200. That'd be 250 in there. You need 175 plus an extra 200 there. It just gives us a nice little buffer. And we don't need this running full time. We're not going to be creating our oil here. I just want to have oil here so that at some point I can, you know, come here and grab it in order to seed our areas that we want to build. So let's just throw like 100, throw like 100 steel in there, and we'll control the output of that chest just by how much stuff we put on the input. We could make that more complex, I guess, if we wanted to. Let's do that. Might as well. Let's do a couple of things. Let's pull that out by 1. Use up some of these wooden boxes. They're not doing much for us. So yeah, we'll have that buffer there. This will be where we buffer empty barrels. Okay, and I don't want you to output if you have, how many empty barrels do we want in there? Let's say 10. Your enabled condition while barrels is less than 10. Can we just do this all on one circuit? Okay, I don't want you grabbing any more empty barrels. How much do we want to keep in here? Let's say how much? I forget how much goes into a barrel. 50 goes into a barrel. And we need how much to start it? 125. So that would be 3. So I mean, like, that's like plenty right there. But I want to put it a little bit of buffer because I want it to at least work. So you're going to be enabled when that is less than, let's just say 50. Okay. And then I want to read this chest and go to that inserter. And I want you enabled when empty barrels are less than 10. Is it a 1-to-1? It's a 1-to-1. All right, so if I put 10 empty barrels in there, that's going to work just like that. Did you get your 50? No, you didn't. All right, but if I put some steel in there... Okay, that one's going to stop. Because that's at 50. And that's going to go till the buffer's up to 10. All right, but we stopped it from there, so okay, that'll empty out completely. All right, that'll be a deadlock, and if we come through here and grab some more, then that'll set that all going. And then we have our extra logic right here that just ensures that there's going to be plenty of oil in that tank right there. All right, very nice. Can we make... Oh, that's right. Since we can't make solid fuel, basic oil refining is going to be a different thing altogether. All right. Well, we'll punt on that. I was thinking about making solid fuel to do the calculations to maybe convert that over to there. How are you doing? How many of these do we have? We have 33. Boy, that's going a little bit slow, isn't it? Well, I mean, I guess to be fair, so am I. You got your pipe, so that should be making the engines. Very good. Okay, so I guess the next step is going to be blue science. Is there any reason why we don't just build it off this way? I was kind of wanting to leave some extra space there. What if we tied it, like, right with this? Left a couple of spaces, and then threw that down. Would that be in line? Yes. Oh, went a little bit big. We can fix it on the other side. All right, and that will go right over here. We'll build it off this direction. Looking down here to the left, I'm not for certain what that space is going to be used for. But I figure having some space up here, I don't know, it might be a good place. We may decide to run trains or something through the middle here. I don't know if I've left enough room, but we may decide it. Who knows? And if that's the case someday, we'll want room for something over here. Okay, so as far as blue science goes, one of the advantages to setting your target to 45 science a minute is that if you go for the recipe time, just the base recipe time, on a blue assembler, it turns into 45 when you take into account the crafting speed. So this one says 24 seconds of crafting speed, but it creates 2 chemical science plants. So if we wanted 1 a second, which would technically be 45 minutes once you're doing the crafting speed, that would be 45 a minute. So in other words, in order to make 1 a second based off of that recipe there, we would want 12 machines. So yeah, that's going to be our base. And I wonder, do we just kind of lay these out? I have no idea how big this space needs to be. I'm sure it needs to be awful big. Yeah, I mean, how much space did we leave there? Just like 1. So that would be cutting it all the way to the corner there. And I'm out of blue assemblers, and we are short of science. There's not really much we need to research right now. Landfill. We could get that. I mean, I don't think there's any reason at all to do any of the military. Does this make our inventory bigger? Or is that just the power armor? These are questions that I have. Inventory size bonus 30. Inventory size bonus 20. Inventory size bonus null. So I guess the answer to that is no. I don't think we need to do military science. I don't think there's any reason at all for it. If we take a look at, let's see, the space science. We have no need for any of the military science at all. You used to need, what'd you used to need? You used to need one of them. Let's look at this from the other way. Let's select military science and see what's based off of that. The fusion reactor, power armor, the tank. These are nice things to have, but I don't know that we're gonna be needing those in this playthrough. I generally get to the rocket before I make power armor. Yeah, you used to need rocketry to launch the rocket, but I don't think you do anymore. So yeah, there's no need for any military science packs at all. We're still not researching anything. That's what we need to do. Crafting speed, not too concerned about. I would like the inventory size. I would like the movement speed. I would like the reach. I don't know. I haven't been using loaders a lot. I need to. Since I installed the mod. Mining productivity is not something we need. Concrete. What's this? Space concrete purple. And the water recipe. I think we might end up using that. Yeah, and any of these others, I'm not sure that they all require blue. All right, well, that'll get those going again. Let's see, I wanted to grab some more assembly machines. And one thing I was going to do as well was get some lights being made. Copper cable, iron plate, electronic circuits. Oh, do I just have regular assemblers? I don't know why I'm using the I don't know, they use less electricity, I believe. Isn't that a true statement? Your max consumption is 77.5 kilowatts. You are 155 kilowatts. And your min consumption as you're just sitting there being idle is also less. So I think it makes sense to keep these as this color. All right, I want you to be ligates. And you to be copper wire. We'll just take that off there. You come in like that. And let's see, did you need iron as well as circuits? Hey, look at that. We got lights. Let's put down some lights. If you're new to my channel, this marks a historic day. We'll see if I stick to it though, before we start congratulating ourselves here. We'll just see. I have a bad habit of not putting lights down. I don't notice it nearly as much because, of course, with all the rendering and stuff on YouTube, it's something that it's not as apparent as when you're playing as when you're watching a video of it. All right, but that's more lights than I think I used in my whole last series, so I'm considering that progress. All right, so we needed things. We needed assembly machines, probably more power poles, probably more inserters, belt. It's like we got things. We might as well take things. We're probably even going to need a little bit of this, too. So let's go ahead and grab that. All right. We didn't start on blue science, but we got really close. We've got a place for it. We know the number of machines that we need. And probably need to do a little bit of just kind of figuring out how many machines we actually do need, because I actually haven't calculated that yet. So I'm going to do that, and I will see you in the next episode where we will get blue science up. Blue science and lights. That will be our goal. Yeah, something like that. Radar 2. I completely forgot about that. That'll go in that spot right there. That's what I was saving that for. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.